Hello everyone, thank you for signing in and watching my live stream. I'm Mr. Matt and this is Dr. Tot, and welcome to Pre-Algebra. This week, this is stream 3. We've been talking about multiplication of whole numbers. If you haven't watched stream 1 or 2, I would recommend checking those out. I went through a lot more introductory material and specific instructions of step-by-step how to set it up with how to set up multiplication problems with the vertical orientation, and then going through multiplying digit by digit, regrouping when necessary, and adding in the placement value, the zero placeholder when we expand to the tens, hundreds, and thousands digits. So if you haven't watched those streams, I would recommend that you do so before going into today's lesson. I'm going to do a pretty cursory introduction about the overall process, but we're going to jump right in to multiplication of 3-digit and 4-digit numbers today. Let me share my screen with you, and then we'll get started. Just a reminder, these are live sessions, so there's a little bit of a delay with the iPad, and my last class we had actually pretty significant delay today. So I'm hoping for the best. I reset everything, but I do apologize in advance, and I'll keep track of everything in the live view and try and mitigate any delay as much as I can. So, like we were saying all this week, multiplication is an expansion of one group by another group. It's a scalar projection. Those are fancy words, but it means that one value is increased at a rate or added to itself at a number of, or for a number of times equal to the other value. So whereas addition was the combination of groups that don't necessarily have any relationship to each other, and subtraction is the reduction of one group by another group. And again, those numbers don't have to have any relationship to each other. They're finite, distinct values. Multiplication is a little bit different because there is an inherent relationship between the numbers. One number is expanded by the other. So there's a relationship that you're going to start to see that is pronounced throughout algebra, where we can distribute the values evenly, and we have a whole bunch of number properties that allow us to simplify, expand, and overall solve for missing variables. But overall, multiplication represents the projection of one value, or in other words, it's one value added to itself a number of times equal to the other value. So for example, 3 times 4 is 3 4 times, 3 plus itself 4 times, or it's 4 3 times, 4 plus itself 3 times over. 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 is 12. 3 plus 3 is 6, 6 plus 3 is 9, 9 plus 3 is 12. 4 plus 4 plus 4 is also 12. 4 plus 4 is 8, 8 plus 4 is 12. So in all regards, all of these values, any way we write them, sums up to a value of 12. There's some vocab we need to be familiar with. So the product is the answer to a multiplication question or problem statement. Just like we know that the sum is the answer to an addition problem, the difference is the answer to a subtraction problem, the product is the answer to a multiplication problem. Also the verb times, or the verbal phrase multiplied by, also scaled, those are all words that imply multiplication. If you take 15% of something, you're multiplying that something by 15%. So the preposition of also indicates multiplication usually. Also, one more thing, remember that addition and multiplication are commutative. We'll have more on that later. That's a big fancy word that means that all it means is that you can flip addition and multiplication around and the order doesn't change or impact the result of the operation. But that's not true for subtraction and division. So for example, 3 plus 4 is 7 in the same way as 4 plus 3 is 7. But 4 minus 3 is not the same thing as 3 minus 4. 4 minus 3 is positive 1. 3 minus 4 is negative 1. So you get two different results based upon the order of the mathematical statement. So that means that subtraction is not commutative. Division is the same way. Multiplication is commutative, division is not commutative. Multiplication you can flip around, so 3 times 4 is 12 in the same way as 4 times 3 is 12. Division you cannot flip around. 3 divided by 4 is 3/4. 4 divided by 3 is 4/3. Those are two separate numbers, so they don't have the same result. So order matters when it comes to subtraction and division. But again, more on that later. When we multiply, remember we want to start by rewriting everything in a vertical orientation, and then you're going to be going digit by digit from the bottom number. The bottom one digit times the top one digit, bottom one digit times the top tens digit, bottom one digit times the top 100 digit, bottom one digit times the top 1,000 digit, and then you go forward on the bottom number. So when you go to the tens digit, you have to have a place marker you have to place a 0 as a place marker underneath the ones unit. When you go to the hundreds value in the bottom number, you have to place two zero placeholders in the ones and the tens digit. After you have all the multiplication done, then you add all the values up. The sum is the answer to the overall problem. Again, if that was a lot of information, you might want to check out stream 1 or 2. But otherwise, we're going to jump right in and look at some 3-digit by 3-digit products. So I'm going to give you 3 minutes. Please look at 245 times 607 and 811 times 913. So again, the first step would be to represent these in a vertical orientation like this. I'll give you 3 minutes, and I'll keep track of the time in the upper right-hand corner, and I'll update it per minute. Okay, so let's look at these two problems. I'm going to rewrite this bottom number in different colors just to make it most clear. Okay, so we have 245 times 607. So let me start with the ones digit of 5. 5 times 7 is 35. So we keep the 5, carry the 3 over. Regroup the 3 to the tens units. Five times 0 is 0. 0 plus 3 is 3. So we're going to keep the 3. There's no tens digit, so we just carry the 3 down underneath the tens. For the third value, we're going to have 5 times 6. 5 times 6 is 30. Now there's no other value to regroup over or over into, so we're just going to keep the 30 and write it out as the last item in the first line underneath of the multiplication. So the first line should be 3,035. Now when we go to multiply by the tens digit of 4, we need to make sure that now we're moving over into the next digit place to the left. So we need a placeholder of 1 0. So you need to write the 0 out, and it's going to take the place of the ones digit. And you're not going to do anything with that ones. You're just going to start the multiplication process from the tens digit on. So 4 times 7 is 28. So we're going to keep the 8, carry over the 2. 4 times 6 is 24. 24 plus 2 is 26. So we don't have anything else to carry over, so we're just going to write out, oh, excuse me, I skipped over the 0, I'm sorry. So 4 times 7 is 28, keep the 8, carry the 2. 4 times 0, that's where I messed up, I'm sorry. Put the 2 in the wrong place. So 4 times 0 is 0. 0 plus 2 is 2. So this should actually be 2 right here. Now, 4 times 6 is 24. So we write out the 24. So we should have 24,280 in the second line. Now we're going to multiply by the hundredths value of 2. So 2 times 7 is 14. So we keep the 4, carry the 1. 2 times 0 is 0. 0 plus 1 is 1. So we keep the 1. 2 times 6 is 12. There's no other value to carry through, so we just write out the 12. So we're going to have 121,400. And so now we add up all these values. 5 plus 0 is going to be 5. 3 plus 8 is 11, so keep the 1 and carry the 1 in the hundreds. 1 plus 0 plus 2 plus 4. 1 plus 0 is 1. 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 plus 4 is 7. Then we're going to have 3 plus 4 plus 1. 3 plus 4 is 7. 7 plus 1 is 8. Next we have 2 plus 2, which is 4. And the last value doesn't have any other number to sum into, so it's just going to carry down, and we're going to have 148,715. For the second question, we have 811 times 913. So first let's write it out vertically, and then we're going to start with the 1 in the ones value. 1 times 3 is 3. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 9 is 9. So none of the values actually change there. If we move on to the tens digit, then we're going to write the 0 in the ones digit as a placeholder. And then again, we're going to have 1 times 3 is 3. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 9 is 9. And then for the last value of 8, that's in the hundreds place. So we need to have two zeros, two placeholder zeros in the ones and the tens. And now we're multiplying by 8. 8 times 3 is 24. So keep the 4, carry the 2. 8 times 1 is 8, plus 2 is 10. So keep the 0, carry the 1. 8 times 9 is 72. 72 plus 1 is 73. Adding all these guys up, 3 plus 0 plus 0 is 3. 1 plus 3 plus 0 is 4. 9 plus 1 plus 4 is 14. 9 plus 1 is 10. 10 plus 4 is 14. So keep the 4, carry the 1. 1 plus 9 plus 0 is 10. So keep the 0, carry the 1. 1 plus 3 is 4. And then this 7 just carries down through. So our answer here is going to be 740,443. If you have any questions, then please let me know. You can drop a comment below if you're watching the recording, or you can post your question in the live chat feed if you're signed in. But if you have any questions at all, please let me know. So our answer to number 1 again, 148,715. Our answer to number 2, 740,443. Okay, I'll give you 3 minutes. Please look at 207 times 534 and 502 times 921. Okay, so looking at number 1, 207 times 534, starting with the ones digit of 7. 7 times 4 is 28, so we're going to keep the 8, carry over the 2. 7 times 3 is 21. 21 plus 2 is 23, so keep the 3, carry over the 2. 7 times 5 is 35. 35 plus 2 is 37. For the tens digit, notice that it's a 0, so it's going to only result in zeros. All of these guys have to be 0 because you have the placeholder, that first value of 0 in the ones digit is just a placeholder because we're multiplying by a tens value. But then 0 times 4 is 0, 0 times 3 is 0, 0 times 5 is also 0. So all of these values are just going to be 0. And then we have the hundredths value of 2. We need to have 2 placeholders because we're multiplying by a hundredths multiple. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 5 is 10. And there's no other number to regroup into, so we just write out the 10. So our answer here is going to be 106,800. Sorry about that. Let me rewrite that. For our second problem, we have 502 times 921. So starting with the 2, we're going to have 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 9 is 18. We don't have anything else to regroup into, so we just write out the 18 at the end. Then we're going to move on to the tens digit. So we need a leading placeholder of 0 in the ones value. But then everything is just multiplied by 0. So 0 times 4 is 0. 0 times 2 is 0. 0 times 9 is 0. And then lastly, we have the hundredths digit of 5. Because it's in the hundredths, we need to have 2 placeholders of 0. And then we're going to have 5 times 1 is 5. 5 times 2 is 10, so we keep the 0, carry over the 1. 5 times 9 is 45. 45 plus 1 is 46. There's no other number to carry over or regroup into, so we just write out the 46. Now if we add these values up, 2 plus 0 plus 0 is 2. 4 plus 0 plus 0 is 4. 8 plus 0 plus 5 is 13, so keep the 3, carry over the 1. 1 plus 1 plus 0 plus 0 is 2. There's no value to affect that 6, so the 6 just carries through. And there's no value to affect that 4, so the 4 just carries through. So the answer to the second problem is going to be 462,342. If you have any questions, then please let me know. So next we're going to look at some 4-digit by 4-digit values. This is going to be the same exact process, but now in the last step, you're going to have you're going to need 3 different, 3 leading placeholders of zeros. So when you multiply by the thousands, the first thousands place, that needs to already have 3 zeros in it in the last line. But I'm going to give you 3 minutes. Look at 4,883 times 2,861. And the second problem is 8,554 times 9,151. Okay, so the first problem, 4,883 times 2,861. So I just put the 2,861 on the bottom. Starting off with the ones digit, we're going to have 1 times 3 is 3. 1 times 8 is 8. 1 times 8 is 8. 1 times 4 is 4. So anytime you're multiplying by 1, it's not going to change the value that you're multiplying by. We're going to move on to the tens digit, so we need to have a placeholder of 0 there in the ones value. 6 times 3 is 8, so we're going to keep the, 6 times 3 is 18, so we're going to keep the 8, carry the 1. 6 times 8 is 48. 48 plus 1 is 49. 6 times 8, 7 times 8, 6 times 7. Those are the really, really tricky products below 100, so you want to memorize those. 6 times 8 is 48. 6 times 7 is 42. And 7 times 8 is 56. So we have 6 times 8 again. 6 times 8 is, 6 times 8 is 48. 48 plus 1 is 49. So we keep the 9, carry over the 4. 6 times 8 is 48. 48 plus 4 is 52. So keep the 2, carry the 5. 6 times 4 is 24. 24 plus 5 is 29. So we're going to write out the 29 because we don't have anything else to carry into. Now we're going to do the hundredths place of 8. So we're going to have 2 placeholders of 0. 8 times 3 is 24. So keep the 4, carry over the 2. 8 times 8 is 64. 64 plus 2 is 66, so keep the 6, carry over the 6. 8 times 8 is 64, so 64 plus 6 is 70. Keep the 0, carry over the 7. 8 times 4 is 32. 32 plus 7 is 39. And then we're going to have the last digit of 2 in the thousands place, so we need 3 placeholders of 0. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 8 is 16, so keep the 6, carry over the 1. 2 times 8 is 16. 16 plus 1 is 17, so keep the 7, carry over the 1. 2 times 4 is 8. 8 plus 1 is 9. So now we're going to add up all of these values. 3 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 is just 3. 8 plus 8 plus 0 plus 0 is 16. So keep the 6, carry over the 1. 1 plus 8 plus 9 plus 4 plus 0. 1 plus 8 is 9. 9 plus 9 is 18. 18 plus 4 is 22. 22 plus 0 is still 22. So keep the 2, carry over the 2 in the tens group. Now we have 2 plus 4 plus 2 plus 6 plus 6. 2 plus 4 is 6. 6 plus 2 is 8. 8 plus 4 is 14. 14 plus 6 is 20. So we keep the 0, carry over the 2. 2 plus 9 plus 0 plus 6. 2 plus 9 is 11. 11 plus 0 is still 11. 11 plus 6 is 17, so keep the 7, carry over the 1. We have 1 plus 2 plus 9 plus 7. 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 plus 9 is 12. 12 plus 7 is 19. So we keep the 9, carry over the 1. And then finally we have 1 plus 4 plus 9. 1 plus 3 plus 9. 1 plus 3 is 4. 4 plus 9 is 13. And we don't have anything else to carry over, so we keep the 13 and just write it out. And so if we put in our commas at the regroupings are 3 blocks, then we're going to have a final answer for number 1 of 13,970,263. And actually, I'm going to put this over here because I'm going to have to use that space for the next problem. For the second problem, 8,554 times 9,151. So starting with the ones, I'm going to have 1 times 4 is 4, 1 times 5 is 5, 1 times 5 is 5, 1 times 8 is 8. Moving on to the tens unit, I'm going to have a placeholder of 0. 5 times 4 is 20, so keep the 0, carry over the 2. 5 times 5 is 25. 25 plus 2 is 27. So keep the 7, carry over the 2. Again, 5 times 5 is 25. 25 plus 2 is 27. So keep the 7, carry over the 2. And then we have 5 times 8, which is 40. 40 plus 2 is 42. We don't have anything else to carry through, so we just write out the 42. Moving on to the hundreds place, now we're going to have 2 placeholders of 0. 1 times 4 is 4. 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 5 is 5. And 1 times 8 is 8. And lastly, we have the thousands place, so we need 3 zeros as placeholders in the last line. 9 times 4 is 36, so we're going to keep the 6, carry over the 3. 9 times 5 is 45. 45 plus 3 is 48, so we're going to keep the 8, carry over the 4. 9 times 5 is 45. 45 plus 4 is 49, so we're going to keep the 9, carry over the 4. And then lastly, we have 9 times 8, which is 72. 72 plus 4 is 76. We have nothing else to carry over into, so we just write out the 76. And then we're going to add these values up. 4 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 is just 4. 5 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 is just 5. Then we have 5 plus 7 plus 4. 5 plus 7 is 12. 12 plus 4 is 16. So keep the 6, carry over the 1. 1 plus 8 plus 7 plus 5 plus 6. So 1 plus 8 is 9. 9 plus 7 is 16. 16 plus 5 is 21. And 21 plus 6 is 27. So we're going to keep the 7, carry over the 2. Then we have 2 plus 2 plus 5 plus 8. 2 plus 2 is 4. 4 plus 5 is 9. 9 plus 8 is 17. Oops. So we're going to keep the 7, carry over the 1. We're going to have 1 plus 4 plus 8 plus 9. 1 plus 4 is 5. 5 plus 8 is 13. 13 plus 9 is 22. So we're going to keep the 2, carry over a 2. 2 plus 6 is 8. And then there's nothing to affect that 7, so that 7 is just going to carry down. And so our answer here, if we write in our commas for every 3's groups, we're going to have 78,277,654. If you have any questions, then please let me know. Otherwise, let's take a look at these next 2 problems, and these will probably take us up to the end of class today. I'm going to give you 3 minutes. After 2 minutes, after 1 minute actually, just for time's sake, after 1 minute, I'm going to start solving them so you can follow along, and then I'll give a summary of what the solution is. So 3 minutes, after 1 minute, I'll start to solve, and then we'll review. Okay, so for number 1, I started to multiply this out. 2 times 7 is 14, so we kept the 4, carried the 1. 2 times 5 is 10, plus 1 is 11, so keep the 1, carry the 1 over. 2 times 9 is 18, plus 1 is 19, so keep the 9, carry the 1 over. 2 times 4 is 8, plus that 1 is 9. So in the first line, we'd have 9,914. Then we're going to multiply by the tens unit of 6, so we need a placement holder of 1, 0. 6 times 7 is 42, so we keep the 2, carry the 4. 6 times 5 is 30, plus 4 is 34, so keep the 4, carry the 3 over. 6 times 9 is 54. 54 plus 3 is 57, so keep the 7, carry over the 5. 6 times 4 is 24. 24 plus 5 is 29. There's no other value to carry over into, so we just write out the 29. Moving on to the 7, we need 2 placement holders of 0 because we're multiplying by a hundredths value. 7 times 7 is 49, so keep the 9, carry over the 4. 7 times 5 is 35. 35 plus 4 is 39, so keep the 9, carry over the 3. 7 times 9 is 63. 63 plus 3 is 66, so keep the 6, carry over the 6. And then finally, 7 times 4 is 28. 28 plus 6 is 34, so there's no other value to regroup into, so we just write out that 34 in the green number, the third line down. Lastly, we need to multiply by the thousandths value of 4, so we need a placement holder of 3 zeros. 4 times 7 is 28, so keep the 8, carry over the 2. 4 times 5 is 20, plus 2 is 22, so keep the 2, carry over the 2. 4 times 9 is 36. 36 plus 2 is 38, so keep the 8, carry over the 3. 4 times 4 is 16. 16 plus 3 is 19. There's no other value to regroup over into, so we just write out the 19. Adding these guys up, we're going to have 4, 3, that's going to be 21, carry the 2 over. 18, that's 27, that's 35. 12, 18, that's 20. That's going to be 16, 13. So we should have an answer for number 1 of 23,605,134. I started to solve number 2 here, and I apologize. I know I'm going over, but I want to make sure that I explain this fully. Actually, I'll need more space. Let me pull it down here. So, multiplying by the ones digit, notice that nothing changes. It just reproduces the 5,970. And in fact, it does that twice because it has a value of 1 in the ones digit and the tens digit. So the first line is just 5,970 because it's 1 times all of those digits. The same thing is true for the second line, except that we have a placement holder of 0. So it actually turns into 59,700 instead of 5,970. For the 6, we're multiplying by a hundredths value, so we're going to have 2 placement holders of 0. Then 6 times 0 is 0. 6 times 7 is 42, so keep the 2, carry over the 4. 6 times 9 is 54. 54 plus 4 is 58, so keep the 8, carry over the 5. 6 times 5 is 30. 30 plus 5 is 35. Then last, we're going to multiply by the thousandths digit of 5, so I need 3 zeros as placeholders. 5 times 0 is 0. 5 times 7 is 35, so keep the 5, carry over the 3. Oops, excuse me, I should have put the 3 here. No, I'm sorry. I was right. 5 times 9 is 45. 45 plus 3 is 48, so keep the 8, carry over the 4. And then finally, 5 times 5 is 25. 25 plus 4 is 29. Don't have anything to regroup, so we just write that out. 0 plus 0 plus 0 is 0. 7 plus 7 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 is just 7. 9 plus 7 is 16, so keep the 6, carry over the 1. 1 plus 5 is 6. 6 plus 9 is 15. 15 plus 2 is 17, so keep the 7, carry over the 1. 1 plus 5 is 6. 6 plus 8 is 14. 14 plus 5 is 19, so keep the 9, carry over the 1. 1 plus 5 is 6. 6 plus 8 is 14, so keep the 4, carry over the 1. 1 plus 3 is 4. 4 plus 9 is 13, so keep the 3, carry over the 1. 1 plus 2 is 3. Adding in our commas, we'd have a final answer for number 2 of 33,497,670. So thank you very much for your patience. I know that I went over that time allotment a little bit, but I wanted to make sure that you had a full explanation to all the problems that we went through today. So I'll give you a few seconds just to make sure that you have all of that work down. If you have any questions, then please drop a comment below. Again, I apologize for the delay in the iPad today. The internet was very slow. If you find these videos helpful, then please like and subscribe to my channel. I'm Mr. Matt, and Dr. Tot, do you want a cookie? You gonna say good? Dr. Tot, do you want to say bye to everybody? Oh, come on. You gotta say bye to everybody for a cookie. Dr. Tot, you gonna say bye? Come on. You gotta say bye to everybody. It's your job. Come on. Can you say bye? Yes, very good boy. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and I'll talk to you all on Monday.